I came from living in the projects with my family to start my own record company. I brought nothing to something. Stay with me. Hey, what's up? I'm your guy, Shy, and I wanted to tell y'all how I came from being living in the projects with my family to start my own record company. And basically, it really didn't come from like, oh, I went from poverty to success. It was more like, I grew up in the projects, and I'm from Philadelphia. My family's from Philadelphia, Southwest Philly. There's a project called Bartram Village. It's probably called Bartram Gardens now. And basically, that's where me and my family grew up. So for those that are new to the channel, I'm gonna be explaining to you my journey and where I come from. I know many people are struggling to become successful, and so what I'm going to do for those that do want to become successful, so what I'm going to do is be transparent on what I have learned and my ups and downs and my shortcomings and how I overcame them. I grew up in Southwest Philadelphia, and I have two sisters. My mom was a single parent of three. I am the oldest, and I had still have a passion for, like, I was an artist. I always liked to draw. My mom used to buy me paper all the time, and I used to draw on like stacks of paper. And I used to draw I used to love cartoons, so I would draw the cartoons that I used to see on the TV back in the day. But as time went on, I developed a passion for creating music. Now, my mom used to always say that you should probably become an artist, because I was good in drawing and everything, but I didn't feel like that was my thing. But later on, I wound up telling her how, even though I was blessed with knowing how to draw, I actually was probably blessed with art itself. And what I mean is, I began to love the art of music and writing and producing music. So I inspired to be this awesome rapper that wound up leading me to being so dedicated that I wanted to start my own record company. Now, I'm gonna go back some, because we were living in a project, but then my mother got married and she moved us out of the projects. So my mother moved us out of the projects and moved us into like more of the suburban outskirts of Philadelphia. And I was old enough, I had turned 18 and I had got my driver's license. So I remember that I was able to get a job and delivery for Pizza Hut. And at my job, I met some coworkers that love music like I did. So we got together, we formed a group called Drama Spartacans, and I became so obsessed with learning everything about this music industry. So I read this book called This Business of Music. I've read the book from the start to the end, even the contracts that they even had at the end. And that's what inspired me to start a record company. Now, some of you might think record company, back in the day, wasn't it hard to start a record company? Well, it's no different than starting a business today. It's just that it's the music business. So started a record company called Ill Skills Entertainment. And this record company had a few artists under it as well as myself. But these artists became my family. And we started making music, and we created a group called Drama Spartacans. And basically with this group, we did everything that was in the book that we were supposed to do when it comes to putting this group together and putting the group out there. We started to do shows down in Atlanta. We got the CDs and tapes pressed up. Yes, tapes. And we started selling them out the trunk of the car. So we literally was artists that used to sell. Well, I literally was an artist that had music and sold it out the trunk of the car down in Atlanta. We also went to the clubs and sold our tapes in the clubs and CDs. We had flyers and posters we were putting out around, and we also got played on our local radio station. Now that was real cool. But my point is that once we started being dedicated to making this happen in this music industry, so we continued pushing our music, getting the city to hear us, doing shows in the city down, getting interviewed on our radio station. They considered it they called it the Hometown Jam on our radio station called Power 99 in Philadelphia. But that was our success. And then my partner got locked up, and everything that we were doing became a burden. And since I was so dedicated, I felt like now I had to take care of all the executive work, as well as being the artist, as well as being the producer. And at that time, we actually had our logo, we had our album cover that was made by me. And now I'm doing marketing and promotion and running the company. So listen, it didn't stop there because he got booked. But if you want to see the rest of or know more about the whole story, You can download the Shyism app on the Play Store and on Apple under the Team ISC app, and you can see the documentaries there. I call them a mini documentary. So I create so many documentaries there. But the lesson or the takeaway from this video is you got to keep going. And like I said, it's going to be a lot of setbacks. People get locked up. People stop. But if you're dedicated and determined, you got to keep going. And that's what I did. I kept going. For those that are not subscribe to the channel. And like I said, I went from being in the projects, which mainly I grew up in the projects with my family. But as I got older, I moved out with my family. But then I actually moved out of my parents' house into my own. And that's when that music journey started. So hit the subscribe button. Give me a like, give me a comment, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Peace.